This is Richard Cook. I'm here to tell you some more stories behind my pictures. Today I'd like to tell you about working with the circus. It was one of the first photographic jobs I ever did. I was commissioned by Adrian Leman at the Illustrated London News to do a piece on the circus for the Illustrated London News Christmas issue. I went away to a different town every weekend, I should say, for a couple of months. And I built up quite a rapport and trust and a good relationship with the circus. The circus was Richard Chipperfield's circus. And I must say, before anything else, that I'm not seeking to condone or encourage animal training. I don't believe that wild animals should be domesticated and trained, but attitudes were very different back in 1974, which is when this was shot, and even then I preferred wild animals to be wild. This is young Dickie Chipperfield, as he was then, with his tigers. See, things like that I don't think really show the animal in its best light. Here he is with his lions. This is old Mr. Dick on the right, I should say. He's the legendary head of the family and the previous lion tamer before his son took over. They have horses, very beautiful, beautifully groomed. This one always looks a little sad to me and pensive, a bit like a showgirl reflecting before she's about to go on. This is Tommy Chipperfield with his horses, beautiful animals. All part of the family. It's very much a family business. This is Jimmy Chubb with his boa constrictor. He goes on from snake charming to breathing fire. This is the Mohawks, wonderfully talented family troupe of acrobats who use horses for some really wonderful display of horsemanship. And it's a whole family group that work together and work for different circuses each season, I suppose. They're booked as, like artists in a theatre. This is the Vala Bettinis, who are an acrobatic troupe, again very, very talented. They also had a zoo at the back, which was where they get various animals for the customers to sort of have a look at up close. This looks quite cute and cuddly until you notice Mum's paw at the side. She's obviously keeping an eye on things. I had a little bit of trouble with this fella, actually, because I had been warned that they have the most incredible reach and speed. And I wanted to take some pictures of him coming down the tunnel towards me. And I respected the advice I'd been given, and I gave myself time to get back and roll well out of the way. But whilst I was out of the way and safe, my camera strap was within his range, and as quick as a flash, he reached out and grabbed it, because I think he thought there was something tasty on the end of it. Luckily, he was distracted in this tug-of-war by somebody from the other side of the cage who was distracting him and shouting, so I didn't have to follow the tug-of-war to the end. The elephant's always charming, and I must say, speak as I find, I saw not the slightest trace of any cruelty to any of the animals. They had a full-time vet there, and they seemed to be always concerned about the welfare of the animals. Although I know there was some very bad press later on in the following years, although not concerning this particular circus, I had an idea. I wanted to do something different, and so I spoke to the Flying Trapeze Act, the Flying Icarus, and said, look, can you get me up to the top of the big top so that I can take some pictures looking down to get a different angle? So they arranged for this. I think I had a safety rope and had to climb one of those nasty little wire ladders. So I went up during the interval when they were putting up the circular cage for the lions and tigers. I got to the top and tried to tie myself onto this scaffolding pole that I was sitting on. But I was quite near to one of the vents in the top of the tent, and I was amazed at the amount of heat and humidity coming up from the crowd, and the animals all getting funneled right onto me. So I was sweating like mad. I could barely keep the cameras dry enough to work, but we managed in the end. That guy knew I was there, and he was sort of hoping I might be coming his way, but I didn't. Yes, I was in fact sitting on the scaffolding that holds the flying trapeze here, because I wanted to take some pictures looking down on the flying trapeze, because that is something that you don't normally see. I should say, when I came down at the end of the animal acts, I got a huge round of applause from the audience, and I was amazed. And in fact, the flying trapeze built that scenario into their act. They had one of them dressed up as a photographer, climbing about up in the top of the big top and pretending to nearly fall off. Anyway, here they are, the flying Icarus. This is Hector of the flying Icarus. He was actually a lawyer in South Africa, but everybody in the circus does more than one job, more than two jobs. You know, Hector would work as a clown, or in the booking office taking money, and everybody helps when it comes to striking camp and taking the big top down and getting the show on the road and away. This is actually my favourite picture of the whole series, really. It seems to tell its own story, although I wasn't aware of the story at the time. It's sort of post-rationalization, but he looks so much like the devil here with his little tail, and at the other end, you know, the glamorous ladies are trying to persuade the man that he can fly to the devil. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's post. If you have, remember to like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends. Next time, I'll tell you what happened to me when I went to work with the nuclear submarines.